Hello, Skyler. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, Molly.
I'm so excited to talk about ginger armor today. So let's get started. First question I have is what inspired you to make ginger armor? I wonder.
Fair. Well, I'm a ginger, as you know, as we've discussed, and I wear sunscreen every single day. And long story short, I wanted to find a sunscreen that was healthy and easy to use, and I kept finding some that were healthy but like really uncomfortable to use, or easy to use but like the ingredients were sketchy. And I would end up going through like at least one bottle a month and then just throwing out single use plastic. So I wanted to find a solution basically that was healthy, easy to use, and eco friendly. So that's why I made ginger armor.
I love it. Very nice. Okay, and so is there a story behind the product's name besides
A little
being
bit. So, what's that?
oh, besides being ginger, of course. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I used to refer to it as my armor, like when I would go outside, like, very domesticated version. Back in the day, people used to have to wear armor. Now it's like, this is like my version of armor. Um, so it just seemed like a good fit for a name because it's like ginger armor and like a lot of people get it. Sometimes people are still like, wait, do you mean the root? But I'm like, no, I mean like gingers, ginger armor. So
Yeah, I feel like that term was just like brought into redhead society like a few years ago. Well, it was negative, it felt like, and then they switched it.
yeah, so I did a little bit of research, and my understanding was that one of the characters on was either Gilligan's Island or like an older show. Her name was Ginger.
Yeah, Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, was that it? And
Yeah.
then that is one of the way that the terms was coined. And it was like, I think it was kind of a positive thing because she was deemed attractive and blah, blah, blah. But then, yeah, in the UK in particular, there's been a lot of like bullying against ginger people. And then the way I learned about it, at least the way I think I learned about it, was South Park.
Yeah.
Tons of South Park episodes, and I find them hilarious, and I love it. I think language is you can take any bit of language and say it's negative and it's bad and we should never say it again, like Voldemort, or you can say, no, this is awesome, like Yankees. Like apparently in the US, before we were in the US, I guess they would call us Yankees. And it was this thing like, he's freaking Yankee. And then we're like, yeah, we're the freaking Yankees. So it's the same
Right.
thing.
We like turned it. Ginger's like, we're like, you know what? We like that term now. We're gonna take Ginger back.
Yeah, it's cute. I think it's nice. I always say to myself too, everybody's a little bit ginger. One of my good friends said the one of the biggest problems in the world is that everybody's trying to be too hard. I think he meant specifically with males, but I'm sure plenty of females act too tough and stoicism and not sharing. And ginger is soft and but not in a weak way. It's soft like a nurturing. But ginger isn't necessarily good or bad. I guess it's open to interpretation like language, but I love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I've always loved it. Like people are like, do you find offense with it? I'm like, no, not
You
really.
can. I feel like it's true of life. You can find offense in anything. You can find good in it.
Can you talk about the unseen, unscented, lightweight? Can you?
Yes. I can show you that is on the bottle as well because that was the goal. So with healthy sunscreens, a lot of them you look super pale white, and a lot of the unhealthy sunscreens you smell them or they feel, and both of them can feel all kinds of ways depending on what chemicals they use and what ingredients they use. So that was the biggest uh, challenge and also accomplishment was that ginger armor is completely healthy and that it's mineral based and it's plants and minerals and you can understand the majority of the ingredients, but then you're not going to see it, smell it, or feel it. So it is a bit embarrassing to me when I would wear healthy sunscreen and I would look like as white as my shirt, like not even exaggerating.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang. Like it made me feel tan on one side because I was like, I'm not really white, but like still like dang. And then the flip side is smelling like, and I had a close friend who said whenever he smells, I forget which brand it was, but whenever he smells the sunscreen, he thinks of me because I just would wear so much sunscreen all the time. And I was like, I don't want to be, I mean, I'm not ashamed of it, like, but I don't want to be seen wearing sunscreen. I don't want to smell it and I don't want other people to smell it. And also the feeling of it, I
Yeah,
hate it. I hate it. Like,
absolutely.
it feels like someone's like grabbing onto me. I'm like, get off of me.
Yeah, like I'll go for a walk and I'm like, okay, I'll put it on, but like it's so oily and then it just makes you feel like I don't know, it's just awful to
Yes.
wear. So,
Yes, exactly. So that's what makes this so special is that it's unseen, unscented, ultra lightweight. But the caveat is that it's also healthy. That's like a lot of companies are being kind of sneaky. They're putting in like chemical sunscreens. They'll be like, look, it blends in clear. And it was like that was never an issue for chemical sunscreens. So they're playing with people's lack of understanding that natural health schemes or natural healthy mineral sunscreens are often white, and that was a big challenge. It was a big deterrent. Chemical sunscreens have always been easy to rub in. Just the problem is that they end up in your blood.
Yeah.
But well,
Oh my gosh.
what could possibly go wrong? Sunscreen in your blood, like
Oh, terrible. Yeah, we don't want that crap floating
no,
around in there.
no, no. Keep it on your skin and then wash it off. That's what Ginger Armor does. That's what good healthy sunscreens do. So.
I like it. I like it. And so what's your background? Do you went to school for?
Did not go to school for sunscreen or like skincare in particular. I didn't do any like what do they call that? Cosmetology, or I didn't do that. I went to school really my major was business, but then my minor was psychology. But I got my degree for my mom. I didn't really get a degree for myself because I started a landscape business, which doesn't require a degree. I actually considered dropping out of high school and just starting it then, but it would have broke my mom's heart, and that it was smart to have a fallback. But yeah, I did landscaping. I did college, and then I would work college and work. So I didn't want to go into debt. And then once I was out of college, I worked restaurants in the evenings, and then I started my landscape business during the days. So just cutting people's grass and fixing sprinklers and moving dirt.
Nice. And then so the process of getting to making the sunscreen, like how did that come about?
So I've wanted to do this for about 5 years seriously. And then before then it was always like a pipe dream, just because it's a lot of upfront costs. There's a lot of testing you have to do with the FDA and then with third party labs. And then before that, just finding a formula you actually like and working with a chemist to actually get something that meets your requirements. So Ginger Armor is made for daily use, so it's particularly super lightweight on purpose. That means it's not like a heavy duty thick sunscreen. So if you're going to go surfing and doing some major water stuff, get a thicker, goopier sunscreen for that. This is there's no claim for water resistance. There's actually no such thing as a waterproof sunscreen. That's a dirty little secret. So I just recommend to always reapply, even if they say it'll last for 40 or 80 minutes. It's like, I don't know if those tests account for different types of water, different activity. I don't know, but we don't make any water resistance claims, and that's why it's so lightweight. And I think I remember I was like, oh, okay, how do we make it more, to where we can make a waterproof claim? And then they're like, oh, it's going to get, all the formulas were thicker, they were goopier, which are great for surfing, not for looking good. So it's good for before the water and after the water, but not in the water.
Okay, so what makes it different from other sunscreens?
So the formula itself, it's full of plant and mineral ingredients that you can easily understand, not a bunch of confusing chemicals or silicones. So it's a mineral formula that actually rubs in. You can't feel, on, smell, and there's zero added fragrance, only like the natural aroma of the actual ingredients. Another thing that's different about it is maybe without any water. So you're getting a concentrated formula that'll last 8 months or more if you use it one time per day for your face. And it's made in the USA at an FDA registered facility, not off site. That's important, especially with what we've seen in the news with the lack of them knowing what's going on. It's also housed in a 100% recyclable aluminum bottle, not plastic. So that protects you from phthalates from plastic bottles that break down and end up in your body, as well as from going into landfills once you're done with the bottle. So aluminum is indefinitely recyclable. That's a cool thing about it, is you can literally recycle this bottle until the end of time as we know it, whereas plastic, even the most recyclable plastic, isn't really recyclable because it has a maximum amount of times of 7. So we really just need to get away from excess plastic, because it's actually not really recyclable. It's a very misleading kind of a thing they did there back when they convinced the public that it was going to be okay, which is kind of a bummer because it's just going to be sitting around for a long time.
Yeah, that's awesome. It seems like, you really care about the environment, and it's, safe for your skin and safe for the reefs and safe for recycling, which is good because we need to do that kind of stuff for the environment.
Yeah, every little bit counts. I'm not like crazy about it. Like, I get it. We need plastic for like there's certain uses, and like I'm not pretending like I've completely gotten rid of my plastic. Like, it's here. It's just about reducing it and not being so frivolous about it.
What is your worst sunburn story?
So I have a Hall of Fame. I don't have just one, but one of them was when we did shirts versus skins during a football game. and it was the middle of summer, and the next day I couldn't move my back without being in extreme pain. So I was like sleeping on my stomach, but my stomach was also kind of burned, but it was like kind of better. And then it was just like a weird shell of skin for like a while. And I remember then we had to put on our shoulder pads, and I was just
Ah,
like, God, sucks. And then there's also a time I got burned in Canada on the beach, and I was like, who gets burned in Canada? But that happened. That was more recent. That was like 3 or 4 years ago. That was really bad
what is
though.
the next goal for Ginger Armor?
Yeah, so I really want to encourage people to wear sunscreen every day, even if it's not ours. That's definitely a goal. And the reason why I say that is there's already holes in our ozone layer, and there's only getting thinner, and there's only getting more of them with pollution as time goes on. So it's only becoming more and more important to do that. And I would like to educate people to the fact that UVA damage doesn't show up as a burn. So you're still getting all the nasty stuff, the really stuff that is going to mess you up, the cancers, the cell damage at a lower level, and then wrinkles that you don't need that are unnecessary. All that kind of stuff is always on the table, even if you're not getting a visible burn. Another goal is to get people to only wear mineral sunscreen to protect themselves and the planet. Those chemicals are, it's proven that they're ending up in your bloodstream, and some of them stay there between 7 and 21 days after just a single use. So why? It's not a blood screen, it's a sunscreen. So to get people to wear sunscreen and to get them to wear mineral sunscreen, even if it's not ours. And then the last thing would be to get people to buy sunscreen in aluminum bottles. So hopefully other companies will start doing it. It's a little bit more expensive to produce, but it's overall, it's the more holistic thing to do. It's a more sustainable thing to do. All this plastic I go through at least of regular sunscreen. I shouldn't say regular sunscreen. The sunscreen I used to buy at least a bottle a month because it's filled with water. So it's unnecessary weight. They're bloating up the price of it and the perceived value. Whereas this guy right here will literally last me for 8 months if I do one application a day, and it's aluminum. So get people to hopefully start, supporting companies that use aluminum.
Love it. Awesome. And so, are you the only ginger in your family, or are there other gingers?
No, there's my sister is for sure, and then I have a huge family. Half the family is Mormon, so I don't know all of them. I've not kept up with all of them. To be honest, there's like 80 cousins or something absurd. So I've only seen like 3 times in my life, and I know there's some gingers, and there's like a lot of stealthy gingers where it just pops out in their beard if they're dudes.
Yes, yeah, totally.
So I'm sure there's more, but my immediate family is just me and my sister.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Any other tips or anything you'd like to share with ginger kind to our readers?
Yes. Yes. Wear a healthy mineral sunscreen every day on your
How can
face.
people follow your journey?
I have an Instagram, so it's at gingerarmor.com on Instagram, and then on Facebook, I think it's facebook.com/gingerarmor. So I'll be posting some things there, and depending on restrictions and whatnot, I'm not sure when I'll start, but I have a van. I'm gonna go around the country and actually give away free sunscreens so they can follow and see where I'm at, and maybe get some free sunscreen from me if they're nearby.
Awesome. And can ginger armor be shipped anywhere in the world right now, or is it just
Anywhere in the world. Yeah, it's in the US it's taking like 2 to 3 days depending on where you're at, because I'm shipping it from San Diego. And then for the world it gets confusing. It's like anywhere between a week and 3 weeks. It depends on when the local shipping people take it over basically. So yeah, anywhere in the world though you can get ginger armor.
Well, it's been great talking to you. Thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks Molly. It was a pleasure. Yeah, that was nice. Thank you so much.
Awesome.